Hi friends, this series of videos are about program development cycle. In the last video, we learned the first step of program developing process, analysis. So taking the same example, if you want to write an accounting program and you plan to design a function of calculating remaining money of a certain month. When analyzing, first, you have to select important data out of all data you have. Then, if calculating the remaining money is our problem, can we decompose it into smaller problems for us to design the solution easier? I guess you know the answer. So, in today's video, we're going to learn the next step, design. Design is the process you think and write down the proposed solution. So why write it down, you might ask? I'll give you my 3 reasons. First, it enables the process to be clearly shown. And second, it may help you to remember. And third, others can read and understand your solutions. So next, I'll introduce 2 formal methods you can use to write down your solution. First, the flow chart. If in the analysis process, to calculate the remaining money, you decompose it into 2 steps or 2 smaller problems, how would you represent your solution using flow charts? Let's see. Here the solution starts. Assume you already calculate the sum of income and sum of expense, and you assign these 2 values into sum in and sum x variable. And to calculate the remaining money, you subtract the sum x from the sum in. And then you decide you want to output the remaining money in red words if the remaining money is larger than or equal to 0. But if the remaining money is less than 0, you want to output the remaining money in green words. And here's the solution end. So in this flowchart, these 2s are called begin and end symbol. They are used at the beginning and the end of the flowchart. And these 2s are called process symbols. They are used to show actions. For example, assigning values to variables. Next, these 2s are called input-output symbols. And they are used to show input data or the output information. And at last, this is called the decision symbol, and it is used to decide which action is to be taken next. So, this is a flow chart. The second method you can use to show your solution is called pseudocode. Let's leave the flow chart at our right-hand side. If you want to calculate the remaining money, you can write you want to store the sum of income and sum of expense into the sum in and sum x variable. Then you subtract the sum x from the sum in and store in the remain variable. And if the value of remain variable is larger than or equal to 0, then you output the remaining money in red words. Else, you output the remaining money in green words. And you end this if condition. And this is called pseudocode. So when you write down your solution a bit like code, but actually most people can understand it, it is called pseudocode. So after knowing 2 common methods you can use to show your solutions, let's learn some common methods you can use in your solution. When designing a solution, there are some common repeated methods that may be used in many situations. These are the 5 common methods. And today, we'll cover the finding maximum minimum methods and the searching methods. You may wonder, when would I use the finding maximum and minimum methods? For example, you got an array which stores the sum of expense of each category, and you're wondering which category did I spend the most money in? So in this problem, you're going to use the finding maximum and minimum methods. How about the searching methods? For example, you got an array which stores the number of products which are all in the stock, and you're wondering does number 52 products are still in the stock? In this question, you're going to use the searching methods. So now, let's see what can we do to find the maximum or the minimum. First, you need two variables to store the maximum and minimum, which we called max and min. And we first initialize them with the first index of the sum of category array, which is on our right-hand side. After initialize these two variables, we want to go through the array from the first index to the last. In order to do that, we need a counter, in which we name it I. And since we already stored the first index into the max and min value, we can start from the second index. While we're going through the array, if we find the value of the index I is larger than the value of max, we need to renew the value of max. But if we find the value of index I is smaller than the value of min, we need to renew the min. And if we reach to the end of the array, the for loop ends. And by following these steps, we can find the maximum and the minimum of this array. How about the searching methods? For example, you want to know whether the number 52 products are still in the stock array or not. How can you write a program to check it? So first, this program can output, please enter a number to find, and then the user can input a number. You can create a variable to represent the status you find or didn't find the number. And in order to go through the array, you can create a counter named I. So you create a loop to go through the array, and this loop will repeat until the value of found equal to true, which means you find the number or the I exceeds the size of the array. In this loop, so while you're going through the array, if the value of index I equals to the number, then it means you find the number. So you can renew the found variable to true. But if the value of index I doesn't equal to the number, you can edit the counter I by 1. And if the found equals to true, or the I exceeds the size of the array, the loop will repeats on its next round. So after the loop ends, you need to output your searching result. So if the value of found equal to true, which means you find the number, you can output found at position I. But if the value of found equal to false, you can output not found. And this if condition ends. And by following these steps, you can find whether a certain number is in the array or not. These are the two common methods you can use in your solution. Also, in today's video, you'll learn two methods that you can show your proposed solutions, which is the flowcharts and the pseudocode. Now, hooray! It's your turn! In this practice, write pseudocodes to show your solutions to the below requirements. In this practice, you want to calculate and output the sum of all categories. In the right-hand side, it's an array that stores the sum of expense of each category. But you want to calculate and output the sum of all categories. In the pseudocode, please use sum of cat to represent the array, and total to represent the sum, and I to represent the counter. And while you're thinking and writing, you can refer to the example on the right-hand side at the below. So now please grab a paper and a pencil and pause this video for a second. And you can look at the answer at the next slide after you finish it. Okay, so this is all for today's lessons. And in the next video, I'll introduce the coding and the testing in the whole program developing process. And stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!